All right, all right. I think we're live, Travis. Let's go. Let's start this wonderful call, my friend.
Hey, JC, mine still says I'm in practice session.
No, we're live on Facebook.
Okay, very good, cool, awesome. Hey, JC, thanks for putting that together for us. Hey, everybody, AAO family, Travis Martin here with my business partners and co-founders, Mr. JC Martinez and Dan Putnam. We want to welcome you to a beautiful Tuesday here this December, and to present to you our 5 non-negotiable call. You know, as you know, when we put this company together, the most important thing we wanted to do was to really get everyone on a path to leveling up their lives. And so we put together these 5 non-negotiables to give you kind of that ladder to help you on that path. And as you know, we have all sorts of things, challenges that we do on a daily basis that we want to encourage you to do as a company to kind of help you on that level. So today, this is the first of many that we'll have every Tuesday at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time of our 5 non-negotiable call. We hope this starts growing. We hope you invite your influencers and also your team members to come join us on this. But we're excited today to be able to share with you what we have in store today, this week, with the 5 non-negotiables. And I'll kind of dive right in. You know, it's not really going to be a format like you see with most calls. We're going to be kind of talking, kind of going back and forth. But one of the things we really wanted to hit upon, and I think the best person I know of who can talk about this is JC. JC, I have seen probably the biggest transformation from when I knew him years ago to who he is now from a physical and mental and business perspective. And one of the things we really want JC to kind of hit on today, and JC, you know, you can chime in here, but you know, how important is diet and nutrition and in your transformation, and just, you know, kind of give us a little background on what does it mean to fuel your body right?
Travis, I think that we lived it all at the beginning when we decided to start doing our 5 non-negotiables. I think that it was something hard at the beginning. I remember when I was with Dan, when we started going to the gym twice a day, and we were so excited, so pumped, and we were hitting the sauna twice a day. We start seeing results. We start getting more excited because obviously we had that accountability. We had that aspect of the journey, but we were missing something. We were missing something that it was, I think, really, really special, which is obviously the nutrition. We understood that there is so much that you can do going to the gym daily and doing all your activities and doing all your stuff. But the other part, which is one of the biggest parts, so you can go ahead and do a change, is actually you need to go ahead and change the regimen that you have been doing before in order for you to see different results. Nutrition, I think, is honestly 60 to 70% of the changes that you will see. And of course, one of the things that we notice is that with the right supplementation, with the right things that you're taking, you will have more energy, you will have more stamina to keep going, you will have more energy to keep going on a different level. And I think that that was something that really impacted in the way that I start seeing a huge change in very short time. Obviously, at the beginning, it's hard as any type of thing. I don't like the word diet because I think diet has a beginning and has an end. So I like more changing the thing for lifestyle, because honestly, it doesn't matter how short or small you can go ahead and start on your changes, but you have to go ahead and have a goal, and you have to go ahead and start doing some changes. I understand that obviously there is always bad things to changing from day to night. From day to night, your diet, you have to go ahead and do progressively if you want to go ahead and obviously change it as a lifestyle. But we start doing that. We start changing a few things, and there we say, like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and drink 1 soda on Fridays, or we're just gonna go ahead and have a cheat meal on this type of day, right? Because obviously, I mean, we're human beings. We like hamburgers, we like hot dogs. We're not dead, right? We enjoy that part of thing. And I think that's the beauty of it, that you can continue doing those things as long as you're obviously doing more of the good stuff, and obviously doing your workouts and doing all that. So I think that once that you have your diet plan, meaning your nutrition, your everything that you need to go ahead and do, at least have 2 good meals during the day. Start with that. Start obviously drinking a lot of water. That's very essential. And then have someone to help you on the accountability part. Have a supplement. Have a gym regimen. Have a partner that can go ahead and help you on that accountability, and you will see results, because obviously you will feel that pressure at the same time, and then it becomes a habit, and then I was talking to Travis this morning, and I was saying, like, literally last night, I was eating cheese balls, like those cheese bread balls, and I was doing so good during the day. I worked out, I went to play soccer, I did all these things, and I drink water, and I was feeling so good. But at 11 p.m. I was watching a show, and I was like, I feel something. I feel like I want to go ahead and do it. Anyway, I give in, and I went and eat cheese balls. But when I was done,
because JC, we're all human. We're going to give in. That's just the reality behind it, right? But I think what's key, you know, in your story that you shared with me was you noticed, you know, and I think being aware is the key to change, right? Like you felt, and I think this is the key part. You felt that you ate something wrong. Your body let you know, right?
Absolutely. Right after it, like I felt bad. I felt like, okay, I don't feel good. My stomach doesn't feel good anymore. I probably shouldn't. So now, obviously, your body starts saying, like, hey, bro, this is not something you do anymore.
I call it my the feeling of shame. You're just like, what did I just do? You know, you have this like moment of 5 minutes of shame that you're now dealing with, that you just have to just kind of chalk off and make better changes. But dude, I hear you. I'm the same way. I remember when we first did this non-negotiable myself, and you know, one of the things I did was I said, like, I'm not going to drink my calories, right? So anything with soda was out, with sugar, right? Anything with juice had any sort of sugar content was out. And it was really hard at first because I love juice. And I mean, and there's this weird idea in our head, like, oh, juice is healthy for you. When you look at the sugar content, it's not. And going without that, I remember the first couple of weeks, it was brutal. Like my body was craving those carbs and craving that quick sugar. But now, since I've been off it now for over a year, when I do have, if sugar is introduced to my body immediately lets me know, like, dude, wait, that's way too much sugar and way so unhealthy. And but it's just being aware. And I love the fact that now you can tell that difference. And when you make those changes, you'll start being aware of the clarity of mind that you have when you fuel your body correctly, right? Your mind works better. You can get your tasks done. You can get the other non-negotiables on your list done, you know, and you get your business going. You're not weighed down with like carbs and clear and cloudy mind. You actually think clean. And anyways, it's probably preaching the choir here.
One of the things go ahead, JC.
No, go ahead, Dan.
What I was going to say, Dan, is that I was going to say that absolutely. And I think that psychologically, and I think that me and you, Dan, we were talking about this the other day, like psychologically, when you say like, okay, I cannot go ahead and have this, psychologically, you start craving it more. And that's one thing that when you're on a diet, you say, look, I cannot have sugars, I cannot have this, I cannot have that. And then your body says like, well, why not? Well, why you cannot have it? And you start playing that game instead of saying like, yeah, I'm going to have it every time in a while. Then your brain plays a different role, and then you make your lifestyle actually longer and more successful on that matter, instead of thinking like, oh, I cannot have sugar, so I cannot have this starting today. Then your brain start playing that game and you give in, and then you say like, oh, this is not for me, this is so hard. But that's because you program it that way.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, and the thing I struggle with, and the point I really want to get across to people, is non-negotiable. You know what I mean? I still am like toe in, toe out, and not you know, all in, like I think all of us need to be, to truly see change and to truly you know, see things happen in our life. And so what I really want to challenge all of our influencers and even customers or prospects that are seeing this is do a self-check. What is non-negotiable? That isn't sometimes. That isn't, oh, okay, I cheated, that's okay. I mean, if you really want to get serious about you know, this business, and really want to get serious about change, I mean, what does non-negotiable mean? It means
you don't negotiate.
That isn't happening.
Yeah.
And so I really think when we do this, we kind of need to realize where we're at right now, and make realistic progress. Meaning, if I'm just eating whatever I want whenever I want, it's not going to work if I say, okay, I'm never going to do this. Or it's probably not even going to work if I say I'm just going to have you know, one cheat meal a week or something like that. And so I think that one of the things is we really have to do that that self-check. We really have to make some personal goals. How bad do we really want to change? You know, what do we really want to see happen in our lives? Because if we don't want it bad enough, it's never going to happen. And I remember doing a lot of business with a guy named Clark Bartram, and a lot of people may not have heard of him, but he's been on more fitness magazines than in any other fitness model, any other male fitness model in the industry, over 500 covers. So something that's just, you know, crazy. And he said a couple things that I thought was pretty interesting. One of them, he said the main reason he got on so many covers is he always stayed in shape. There's very few of the covers that he is actually the first choice. So they actually had somebody else, and most of these fitness models need at least like 6 to 8 weeks to get ready for a cover. And then the people with like 2 weeks notice that say, hey, I'm not gonna hit it. And so then they call Clark, and Clark would be, yeah, I can do it. I'm in shape right now. And so those are the types of things that happen in that, you know, when people aren't doing things non-negotiable, they're, you know, having to get ready for stuff, and they're really never prepared, and they miss out on a lot of things. And so I just really want to focus on, you know, what can we control? Where can we start? And that's one of the things that we talked about with just the product itself with Active Greens. And so the last non-negotiable call, I think we did November 28th, and we talked about launching a fitness challenge. You know, we talked a little bit more on the fitness aspect of it. And I think a lot of people have been seeing people doing squats and push-ups every single day. And I'll tell you what, I was a little bit surprised on that. We've all been to the gym a whole bunch of times together and working out and you know, lifting, and my legs have always been my strongest part. I mean, I don't have any issues with you know, doing massive weights. And I was just doing squats, 100 squats, no weights at all. And I couldn't believe, like, the third day, fourth day, how sore my legs were just doing 100 squats.
Me
and,
too.
You know, now we're into day 12, and it's still a little sore, but you know, I already see some improvements picking up. And I've been doing straight 100 squats, you know, every time I haven't put the push-ups in, because it wasn't too long ago, just as a group, we did 100 push-ups per day challenge, and that was another AAO thing. But what I want to put out there for everybody on the nutrition is just that the first thing to commit to is let's take Active Greens every single day. And one of the things that I think we can all do is I want to challenge everybody for let's go the rest of the month and literally sometime during the day when you're having your Active Greens, do a picture and post. You don't have to post on your wall or anything like that. Stories go away in 24 hours. But you know, let's go out there and flood the entire social media with people drinking Active Greens. And
this is the accountability part. You know, we talked about, you know, JC, we were talking about number one non-negotiable, which is the diet nutrition. But number 5 is accountability. And the accountability is drink your greens every day, but now post it, because that's going to keep you accountable to everyone that's watching you. And that really fits in now with your non-negotiable, you know, the 5 that we have on the accountability factor. So we want you to post those pictures and want you to be doing the things that you're doing, whether it's working out, whether you're at the store, whatever, it doesn't matter where it is, but just show everybody that you're being accountable by taking care of your health, drinking your greens every day.
Yeah, and I think that what we're trying to focus on these calls is there are the 5 non-negotiables. Accountability, we're going to kind of cover on all the calls, because that's the one that you know, keeps the other 4 even possible. But just to kind of switch gears just a tiny bit, we did start a new book for this month, and Never Finished by you know, just I've gone through the first like 7-8 chapters a couple times already, and it really is crazy. If you want to eliminate excuses in your life and realize that you really can do so much more than we put our minds to, I can't think of a better book of just some of the things I've been seeing. And if you understand what David Goggins has done in his life, literally going through you know, buds 3 times, failed the first 2 times, but was able to re-go. Normally, if you don't make it through, you're done and you can't ever do it again. They do have exceptions with extreme injury or extreme sickness. And he doesn't talk about this in Never Finished, but he did talk about it in his You Can't Hurt Me in his previous book. Literally going through 3 times. Nobody else had ever done that. And on the 3rd time going through buds, he had broken both of his legs. And these guys are running 12 miles a day. So every single day you're running 12 miles with a 75-pound backpack. And he's doing that with 2 broken legs. And the only way he's able to get through it is completely duct taping his ankles all the way up through his shin, so that almost, creating casts that he could run on. Because he knew if he doesn't make it through this time, he's out and he never has another chance. But that's not even, a big part of it. I mean, finding out the things that he's done. We happened to be in Moab just a couple days later, the 3 of us, after they finished the Moab 240, when he took second. So we're talking about 240 miles of running. 240 miles. And he talks about that in chapter 7, I think, of this book, of all of the problems that he was going through. And we're talking about, he still had like 70, 80 miles left, and could barely even walk and could barely even move. And was able to get his mind right to where on that last stretch, he ran, I think with like 40 miles left, he was 4.5 hours behind the leader. And 40 miles, again, that's a long time,
That's
4.5
crazy.
hours. And he ended up taking second place by about 90 minutes. So he made up well over 3 hours time in that last 40 miles. And in the last 40 miles, he was running sub 7-minute miles. So some of the fastest miles he was doing the whole time. And if you hear the injuries that he had, it's unbelievable. But then people also think that, well, he just must have been gifted. He just must have, be an elite athlete, amazing genetics. Then you realize he has holes in his heart. He shouldn't even be able to do cardiovascular stuff, period. He's dyslexic, several learning disabilities. Grew up in a super abusive household where his dad beat up his mom pretty much every single day, plus him and his brother every single day. And so going through that, he talks about how so many people are just so full of excuses and everything in life. I was, born in poverty, had nothing. There's no way I could do it. Or I had too much, so I never had to work for anything, so there's no way I could do it. Or, whatever it is, people always, figure out a way to make excuses. And I find myself doing that same thing. I mean, with the non-negotiables, oh, it's just this time, I'll go ahead and do it. Or, oh, it's just this time, I'll go ahead and do it. But the thing that I really want to have us focus on is, in this book, is really becoming accountable for ourselves and making decisions. And another thing I just want to point out, you know what I mean? And I'll let you talk a little bit about it, Travis, because we had some discussions on it yesterday. But here's the thing. I have so many people that not so many, but people are all the time asking about training. And here's what I want to, training means nothing if you don't do it. You know what I mean? We've done QI training with over 100 people a couple weeks ago. I have not noticed even one person in the entire company doing what the training said. People want to train. Why? Why do you want to train? Training without the action means nothing. The whole concept of our company isn't to train. The company is to actually do what the training is covering. You know what I mean? The whole thing with the non-negotiables isn't just to, get on a non-negotiable call. The whole thing with the book club isn't just to read a book. You know what I mean? Read Atomic Habits and do nothing. Okay, what did that do for you? Read Never Finished and do nothing. Okay, what did that do for you? Get on a 5-minute non-negotiable calls and do nothing. What did that do for you? Get on a qualified influencer training and listen for 3 hours and do nothing. What did that do for you? Get on an area training and listen to that for 2 hours. And what did that do for you? You know what I mean? I think we need to wake up and actually realize that we actually got to do something. We got to make some changes if we want change to happen in our life. And I see the same thing with us as a corporate team, trying to hold us each accountable and saying, hey, we're doing a horrible job in this. What are we doing, guys? I mean, we came up with this company for a reason, and we're dropping the ball here and here and here and here. Can't do that. And the same thing that, we're trying to level up ourselves. I just want to emphasize to the field. I mean, come on, guys. If we want to build a company here that's going to make a difference in people's lives, let's level up. And let's, take these books and let's take these trainings and let's take this information and do it. So I'm just saying, and I'm in myself, all the fingers are pointed at me. You know,
Take it to heart.
let's
You know,
level up as an entire company, including from the top down. And so I think that that's kind of what I'm getting out of you know, so far with Atomic Habits. Okay, cool. What are we going to do about it? Never finished. Okay, cool. What are we going to do with that information we're learning? Okay, QI training. Oh, wow. What are we going to do with it? And 5 non-negotiables. Okay, wow. What are we doing? You know, so I think that that's kind of the direction that we need to focus on, is what in the world are we going to do with this information? Because if we just listen to it, nothing's going to change.
Exactly. And, you know, one of the things, Dan, I couldn't agree more. I think JC also would also echo those words with the conversations we've had, which is the conversation why I even brought this call that we're going to have every Tuesday, is to go over that, but to also issue challenges, right? And those challenges really, it goes back to the Atomic Habits book, which is that 1% change that you do on a daily basis gets you to where you want to be. So by doing squats every day, it's not necessarily the squats that's helping, right? It's the more of the discipline that you're teaching your mind that you're going to do it no matter what. And those are the little tidbits, the 1% growth each day that you can work on a daily basis to just start challenging yourself and leveling yourself up. And one of the things I really liked about this book, Dan, that we talked about and never finished, was he doesn't just go on and say, look, here's my story and how inspirational it is. He's like, you've got to dig deep down. You've got to, like, you know, see who you are. And then you got to be accountable for who you are, regardless of all the shit that's happened in your life, right? Regardless of all the things that's happened, taking responsibility for what you do and for who you are. But the thing that, if you guys who haven't read the book, the forward portion that Dan and I were discussing was really this initial scientific experiment they did with these rats. And he starts the book off with this story. 1950s, they had these rats and they put them in cylinders, and they wanted to see how long the rats would swim. And rats are known to be good swimmers. But what they noticed is when they just dumped them in the water, the rats would go down looking for an escape hatch. Well, they'd last 15 minutes once they realized there was no hope. Like they just thought they couldn't do it. And so they would, you know, the rats wouldn't last long. 15 minutes was the average. So then what they did is they dropped the rats in the water. Just as the rats were looking like they were going to drown, they'd take them out, get them at a normal resting heart rate, and put them back in. Then they'd repeat that process, I think 2 or 3 times. And what they noticed is when they put the rats back in the water, the rats would tread water for 60 hours on average. And one even went as far as 81 average. No food, no rest for over 80 hours. And so what the original conclusion that they said was, it was hope, but they actually realized they were wrong in that. It was belief. Belief was the single key that allowed these rats to continue to tread water when the average without any sort of hope or belief, they would last 15 minutes. Just belief alone took these rats from 15 minutes to 80 hours with the same environment. And to me, I think that's fascinating, because what he's talking about in that story is when you realize and you believe in yourself, when you believe in who you are and your capabilities, you're going to last 80 hours versus 15 minutes. So when something hard comes along your way, you're not going to be done the minute it becomes challenging. You're going to get through that obstacle and go to the next obstacle and the next obstacle. But it's only through that process that you level up, that you have to be believing in yourself, believe in the training, believe in the things that we're doing to give you that belief to tread water for 80 hours and then to tread it another 80 hours. But that belief is what gets you through. Any thoughts on that, Dan?
Yeah, you know what, the thing I've noticed in network marketing more than anything, like when I first started to see success after, you know, the first 2 to 3 years, it wasn't because my team was like having awesome success. It wasn't because they were like, you know, killing it and making all this money. What happened is when I started to focus on the process and teach people the formula of duplication, build a list, cultivate the list, present to the list, and then showed them the exact techniques of, okay, this is how you build it. This is how you cultivate it. That bridge to go from a cultivated list to presenting the business is an invite. These are, you know, 100 different invites that you can do. And so what started to happen is people started to believe that they were going to be successful. And the reason they started to believe it is because they knew how to build a list. They knew everything that they needed to do. And we talked about this on the Qualified Influencer call. I mean, if somebody isn't getting out, adding 50 to 100 people a list to their day, they're not even trying. It's so easy with social media these days. I mean, look at we have all of the benefits that our product do. And then you want to find people that are looking for those benefits. Anybody that's taking a similar product. So if you find any competitive product and then you find their Instagram or you find their TikTok, you find their Facebook, every single person that likes or comments on all those pictures is probably a fan or using that product. And so I mean, this stuff is so simple, but yet people don't do it. And that hope, like, oh, I hope that AAO is going to be the difference. That's not good enough. But what happens is you start to get that belief by taking the action. So what happened with those rats is they started to, swim, and they talked about this, and they started to get more efficient. And in their mind, they started to believe, I can do this.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do this forever. Maybe I'll find my own food. And then they even talked a little bit about, people that have got stranded in the ocean. There's people that have lived in the ocean, stranded on find something to float on for months.
Yeah.
What are they drinking? They're not drinking ocean water. What are they eating? They're only eating what they can literally grab in the ocean and kill. There's people that have survived that. They didn't survive that on hope, I guarantee it. The hope was the beginning. But then they started doing some things, and then they started to think, wow, that I might be able to do this. Man, I might be able to survive. When they somehow caught that first fish or did that first thing, that they got them some food, or that first rainstorm that got them some water, and they figured out how to hold it, that's where the belief started. So as you start to build that list and you start to cultivate it, and then that bridge, again, you have to bridge that gap from the cultivated list to the presentation, and that's the invite. Once you start to do a few of those invites and some people start to bite on it and they look at it, and then that person joins, then it's like, holy crap, this works. And then once you teach your team and they're starting to build the list. So I can absolutely guarantee you, the reason I was able to build large groups wasn't because of hope. It was because I was able to build the belief up. It wasn't because of instant results. Nobody gets instant results. It wasn't because everybody that joined was making a bunch of money in their first 30, 60, or 90 days. No. It was because they believed with the knowledge that they learned, they believed that they could be successful. And that's the whole concept of the 5 non-negotiables is to get you doing these habits so that you start to level
JC,
them
are you
up.
there? Oh.
And then you're like, man, I think I can do this. And that's like, if people take nothing more out of that entire book, if you do nothing more than just read the introduction, that's not even the first chapter. That's before the book even starts. You know what I mean? But just that to me is gold there. And it truly is the secret to success. I mean, how many people start a diet and they're hoping that it's going to work? And then they start to lose a little bit of weight, and then they, have a vacation or something, and they gain all the weight back, and then all those types of things. And then all of a sudden they quit. But then when they come up with a plan and they lose some weight and they say, man, this isn't too hard. And they do it a little bit more, and they're like, that confidence starts building. And what's that confidence building? It's building belief. And so now all of a sudden they believe they can do it, and they do it. And I say all the time, as human beings, we have two things: we have beliefs and we have doubts. And that whole turning factor is when people start believing their doubts and doubting their beliefs.
Yeah, and let me build on that, Dan, for a second. As you know, I've owned a weight loss company in the past, and what was interesting for me was in the beginning, you would see people take this product and they'd see results, and so the belief was high, right? And so they would keep doing it. But what they failed to do was to invest in themselves, right? They relied entirely on the product. And once your body builds a tolerance, well, you can't keep shedding pounds forever. Your body builds a tolerance to anything you do. And so when they stop losing weight, what do they say? Well, the product stopped working.
Yeah.
And then their belief was gone in the product, when it really wasn't the product at all. It was their own, it was what they were doing on a daily basis. But that killed their belief when they said it's not working, right? But had they just realized it did work, and to not focus on the things they weren't doing for themselves, but to realize the product did do what it's supposed to do, it's just they weren't doing their part. In other words, being a victim, and then they would still build a very strong business. But once that belief goes, they would stop. And it's funny, they don't never look at themselves, right?
Yeah.
The belief they killed it was, oh, it was this, or it was this, or it was this, instead of taking accountability of like, well, maybe I needed to do something different, while I had this head start. So I just want to add that, because I remember having many conversations with team members when we built my weight loss company. And that was the number one thing, was people were not taking accountability for what they weren't doing. They just expected the product to do everything. Yeah. But it takes hard work,
For sure. And that's one of the things, Travis and Dan, that you see every day. That's why they're called supplements, because they supplement something that you need to be doing. It's not going to be 100% what the result of your success in your transformation or whatever it is. I think that what you were saying, that what is so powerful is the accountability, because sometimes even breaking that cycle, what Dan was saying of breaking that cycle is so important. Because you see it in everyday things. For example, when you go to the gym, we were going to the gym the other day, and I was like, oh, I cannot go ahead and push 70 or 80 pounds because I might injure myself, or it's too heavy for me. I never done it before. But when that told me, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and push it. Let's go ahead and do 90 and 100. I was like, wow, that's crazy. No, I'm not gonna be able to do it. When we were able to do it, we were like, oh, wait, I was able to do it. All this time, I didn't lift 90 pounds or 100 pounds because I was with the fear of saying like, oh, that's too heavy, that's too much for me. Am I injured? That's something that, no, I'm good with my 50s, I would with my 60s. But the moment that someone else push you and tell you, no, it's okay, you can go ahead and do easily 80s or 90s. And when we started doing that, we were like, oh, okay. So now, starting that day, I started doing 80s. What I'm trying to say with this is that the power of breaking the cycle of not believing everything that your brain says to you, because your brain is always trying to protect you. And the brain is always sending you signals of saying like, oh no, that's too much. Oh no, that's you might get injured. You might get doing this, you might get do that. But the moment that you break that cycle, you don't listen to that, and you actually have someone that is telling you, hey, you can do this. You can go ahead and push this. You can go ahead and do that. You can, and you start creating that lifestyle and that change. I think that's one of the best moments that you will have. And that's why the 5 non-negotiables, it changed our lives forever, because now we can go ahead and get rid of those thoughts, breaking that cycle in that sense.
The belief is high because I've done this every day. Like I said, the Atomic Habits book, build that 1% every day. The challenges we're giving you, doing the squats right now. And right now, our latest challenge, drink the greens every day and post it, focus on your diet and nutrition. And that's an easy focus, which is drink your greens every day. You can talk about doing your own non-negotiable. It's if you want to cut out sugar, you want to, cut out carbs, whatever it may be. But as long as you keep that promise to yourself, and you can drink your greens every day, I think that everyone here can do that. But what you're going to learn, it's not about drinking the greens every day. It's about teaching yourself the discipline to drink the greens every day. That's the whole point. And then to post it, to be accountable to it. And so that's a challenge we want to give you here today, this week, is to make sure you take those pictures, drink your greens every day, and post it. And like Dan said, flood social media with this. We want to people. There is no reason why our product should not be shouted from the rooftops. It literally is one of the best products out there. And there isn't a reason why you shouldn't be taking it every day, And so we want to see that. And I'm excited to do my posts and to post me drinking my greens every day when I go to the gym, just like I know JC, Dan will too. And once we commit, we do it. And we hope that you all commit to do the same thing as well too.
One other thing that I think is important, just to talk about this last week, things always happen. And I think so often we plan on everything going perfect. And it's like, oh, if everything goes perfect, I'll keep going. But life isn't perfect. And so we just thought we had a huge event with someone planned around 1,000 people in Peru on Thursday. Travis was flying from Paris. So Travis flew on Wednesday morning, and I was flying out. So Wednesday Paris time, and I was flying out Wednesday Utah time. So I was going to get to Peru at 5 in the morning on Thursday the 8th, and we were doing the meeting starting at 5 p.m. that night. And then Travis was getting there 7 p.m. the night before on Wednesday. So we have this big plan and a ton of work. Our leader over there has literally been working, doing meetings like 5-6 meetings, 3 or 4 meetings a week, every single week for the last couple months to build up for this 1,000 people and have people from all over Peru come to Lima to meet with the founders and do this huge event. And literally on Wednesday, I'm on my way to the airport and I get a call and they say, hey, have you heard what's going on in Peru? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And the first one I got was from somebody that's not even in the company, that just happened to know I was going there. And then JC called me, and then Diego, our leader over in Peru, started texting me. And what happened is the president of the country, who was voting that night to impeach him, and the people that vote to impeach is Congress. And so he comes up with the great idea, hey, let's disbar Congress. If there's no Congress, I can't get impeached. So that's what he does. Wednesday, a couple hours before my flight takes off, and probably about 6 hours into Travis's flight. Travis is already in the air, and I'm getting all this news. And then Diego's like, hey, the army's in the streets, people are rioting. They're saying no get-togethers. They put on a curfew, 10 p.m., 4 a.m., but no unnecessary anything. We can't do the event. People are coming in from all over. They can't travel, and we don't know. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, Travis is already in the air. He's gonna land in a war zone. What's going on here? And so, and then I'm literally at the airport, and my flight's leaving in 2 hours, and I'm thinking, okay, what do I do here? And I'm telling Diego, I'm like, well, hey, if the curfew is from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., shouldn't affect the meeting. It starts at 5. But let's go and do the meeting. He's like, yeah, but they're saying people aren't going to want to leave the house. People aren't going to go. We've put this whole thing for 1,000 people. We don't want to do it with 50. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Let me know, because if we're canceling the event, I don't want to fly out there and not even know if I can get back. And then I said, Travis is already going, so he's going to have to figure it out. But anyways, a bad situation. There's a lot of things that you could sit there and do, and luckily they were able to handle it pretty fast. Arrest the president, appoint a new president, all in one day. Kind of crazy things. Travis lands and finds all my texts and all this information, and is like, man, what's going on here? And I said, man, I don't know. Let's try and get a hold of Diego. He's thinking maybe we can still meet with 20 or 30 people, and at least make the best of it. And they got together, did a meeting with 20, 30 people for a dinner, and then they said, hey, we got a bunch of people still here that want to go. Let's see if we can put something together. So now you're looking at it in one day. Got to find a place that'll let us do it, all of this stuff, and they do a meeting with 100, 150 people with zero notice. So it's just those things, and in life things don't go as planned. But you can still make the best of it. You can just give up and say, oh well, there's nothing going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and fly back home the next day. Travis could have changed his flight and flew back the next day and been, but no, he said, well, let's see what we can do here. Let's go meet with leaders. Who do you have that we can meet with? Who can we talk to? Who can we get to test, don't guess. So let's go out and whatever we're going to do, let's do something. And they took that something into a meeting with 150 people, and now everybody's still excited to get things going.
Yeah, that was I appreciate that story. It really was. I remember, and Dan, it's funny you bring that up, because to me there wasn't an option. It's like, I'm there. There wasn't even, to me, there wasn't a thought of let's just turn around. It was like, well, I'm here. Let's just make the best of it, because there's not, why not? Right? I mean, it really wasn't even a question in my mind. And I think that just comes from years of experience and coming back to these non-negotiables. It's the discipline that we all have when it comes to owning a business. We know there's responsibilities, we know there's accountabilities, and it was just a need to say, look, let's just see what we got here. So yeah, very good point, Dan. Just sometimes obstacles get in the way, and you just make the best of what you got, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, so a couple things in closing that I'll end on. So again, remember, every Monday we have the opportunity call. Tuesdays now at 9 a.m. we're going to continue this 5 non-negotiables call. We're going to start upping the communication a little bit, so you can count on at least one weekly update email with some information on the product, some updates that are going on, and then we'll continue to send out emails on the calls and stuff like that with just the basic information there. We are going to, I haven't talked everything over, but it looks like the best date for me when I think we can have everything done for the area training is we're going to go the 22nd. So on the 22nd, we will do the area training. I'm going to go ahead and get the QI training out to several of our people who are already area trainers. So Brett did a QI training on Saturday. So if there's anybody that feels that, okay, I went through the QI training, I kind of understand it, I could do my own training if I had the deck, I'm going to have Zach go ahead and put the deck in for all area trainers. So in your back office, everybody that's an area trainer already will have the QI deck. Then when we do the area training on the 22nd, we'll add all of the notes and all of that to really get you ready to train on this. But what I want to emphasize on that, this is not about training QIs. If you're an area trainer, those are those are meant to be the leaders of this company. Those are the people that are going to help get us the best trained influencers in the entire industry and make things happen. The best way to train is by leading. The best way to lead is by example. And so if you're an area trainer and you're training people on the QI stuff and you're not even doing it yourself, think about that. You have no business training on something you're not doing. Do you guys agree with that?
100%.
So, I mean, if you're an area trainer and you're training qualified influencers, you're not even doing it yourself, don't do a training. I mean, it's not what the business is about, and it's not going to go anywhere. I can absolutely guarantee every single thing in that qualified influencer training, I have done myself probably more than any other network marketer on the planet. As far as the list building, the cultivating, the inviting, all of those types of things. There is zero doubt. I know 100% that it works, and I know that people aren't doing it. How do I know people aren't doing it? Because I know how well it works. You know what I mean? And if just the 100 people that we did the qualified influencer training, if 10 of them were doing it, our numbers would be triple what they are right now. Guaranteed. If you look at the number of people joining per day, it'd be triple. So don't train on things you're not even doing. That's bottom line. This isn't about doing a training. It's about doing what the training says. I mean, if we open a business, if we open a McDonald's and we go through all the training of McDonald's and then we don't do it, is what's going to happen? They're going to take it away from us. It's not even possible. You can't buy a franchise. You can, but they'll literally take it away. So even though you pay $1 million to start a McDonald's, you go through all their training, but then you don't do any of it, they're going to shut your store down and give it to somebody else. They don't accept it. Now, again, we don't do that. Everybody's an independent contractor, but you got to think about those things. And so I want to point that out. I mean, that's the important thing. So the area training, 22nd, Monday calls, count on them. Tuesday calls, count on them. And
Emails, communication.
Emails, yeah. The other thing I want to do is we'll figure it out exactly, but let's give away some money. So count on something happening from the 15th to the 20th. That we're going to have some contests that you guys are going to be able to earn some daily money on. I don't know exactly what it'll be. I'll talk to JC and Travis, but we will launch it on the 15th. So just in 2 days, where we can give away some Christmas money, some promos that we're looking to do, and stuff like that to get some growth through Christmas. And let's go out there and make December a great month.
Love it. Everybody, JC, Dan, thank you so much for joining the call, and your insights are, of course, are golden. And I hope that everyone takes to heart what we're trying to accomplish here as a team, as a corporation. You know, we're still new. A lot of people forget that, but I can tell you right now, our hearts are in the right place, and intention always brings about the results. And the intention we have is to make some of the best leaders in the industry, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And for us, that's a non-negotiable. That's why we put this together. And we're excited that you're doing this with us. So let's take these challenges to heart. Let's take some changes to heart. Let's build our businesses, and let's take this place to where we know it's going to be. Anything you want to say, JC, before we sign off?
No, I think we're golden, Travis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Everyone that tuned us in on Facebook. I see all the comments. I see all the engagement that you guys are having. Just a quick thing. Remember that we have a pool of packaging in the Facebook on Facebook. So if you can go ahead and just vote, we definitely appreciate your insight on that. I know that a lot of people have been asking if the packaging is going to change right away. No, that's something that eventually will change. We're just planning everything for news, marketing materials, and for everything that we're trying to do with videos and all that. So we will let you know in time when everything that is changing on the packaging. Right now, we just want to go ahead and make sure that we have the sexiest packaging out there. And of course, we care about your saying. We care about everything that you have to say about their company. So we just wanted to go ahead and throw it out there and make sure that you vote on that. And guys, it's Tuesday. Let's go ahead and make sure that we have the best week of our lives. And of course, also, I know that for a lot of people is December, and a lot of people is like, okay, it's Christmas. We're gonna go ahead and it's gonna be hard to keep this challenge or to keep everything on your 5 non-negotiables, guys. This is the time where you guys need to go ahead and push more because by January it would be easy pancakes. So
One last thing I want to put out, one thing that we will do for sure, from the 15th to the 25th, we will pay daily. So just so that people can get some Christmas money and stuff like that, starting on the 15th, if you request money, we'll push that through every single day. One of the great things with MassPay, they do have an instant pay, they have a same day pay, they have a next day pay, they pay in crypto, which is also instant. So you can literally go from, you know, making a sale, getting your fast start on you know, the qualified influencer pack, or getting your coding bonuses or your customer bonuses or anything like that, and get it the same day with MassPay. It is pretty incredible what they do and the system that they have. So 15th through the 25th, we will pay every single day. I know sometimes money can be tight around the holidays, and we want to give everybody the chance to you know, get their money as fast as they possibly can. So I just wanted to let everybody know that.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. We'll put all this information in a sum up email, like those emails we're going to talk about getting out weekly. So don't feel like if you didn't hear this information, you got to rewatch the whole show. We will, you know, make it concise and let you all know updates we're doing and send it out to you as well. So looking forward to a great week. Looking forward to the challenge post, drinking your greens, posting, being accountable, get those squats in as well too, and your push-ups.
let's
With
go.
that, yeah, go ahead, JC.
All righty, guys. Well, perfect. No, that's it. Thank you so much, guys. I think
Awesome.
if you guys are done, let's go. Let's go ahead and enjoy the day, start the day, and let's go ahead and make the best day of our lives. Let's go.
Thanks, JC.
Take your greens. I'm done.